Hey guys, it's time to go plant some cabbage. This is the first year on the property for us, which means this is the very beginning of our new vegetable garden. So what you see may not look like a lot because honestly it's not. We have decided to try to rototill the grass over. We ended up rototilling probably 3 different times with 3 different rototillers, and it only scratched the surface. So I'm going to be planting my vegetable garden a little bit differently than I usually do every year. Now, what's so great about gardening in general is that there is literally 101 ways to reach the same goal. So this might not look like what you are doing, and you may never do it this way, but I am going to use a landscaping fabric to help me clear out this grass so it's much easier to build the beds, even though it's going to take a little bit longer than rototilling. Now we live in the north, so we have clay soil. So what you see me here doing is just getting the ground wet. Now it has not rained for at least 2 weeks, so the ground is rock hard, and when you don't have amended soil that's nice and fluffy like most vegetable gardens eventually get, clay soil is gonna just harden up like clay. So I am just sitting here running the hose over the area that I'm gonna put the landscaping fabric over. Now on the other side of my vegetable garden, because I split my vegetable garden into 2 sides, I actually bought really nice landscaping fabric to put over most of it. I don't plan on planting into that landscaping fabric because I want to reuse it year after year, or if I want to expand the garden in the future, I want to have that resource. The landscaping fabric that you see me here is the really cheap, literally plastic fabric, quotations, that I don't care if it gets beat up or cut up or whatever, because it was very affordable, very cheap. I really don't expect this to last very long. I really just want it to kill off the grass. I will be planting some stuff. This is actually where I'm going to be planting the cabbage, but I want it to kill off the surrounding grass. Okay, moving on. Now for planting cabbage. Now I only have a few cabbages to plant. A lot of my cabbage seedlings ended up dying. They actually prefer to be planted in the spring, like the colder parts of spring, early spring, even before your first frost, or your last frost, I should say. So I only have a few to plant today, but I'm still going to give them a chance and plant them anyway. What you're going to do is you're going to just cut an X into your fabric and then just loosen up the soil under it. Now you can see me pulling up grass chunks, which actually took away from a lot of the soil left into the hole. So I ended up deciding to go to my compost pile and get in some loose dirt that I had around the garden and filling up the holes over it, which I will show you in just a minute. I don't plan on planting any companion plants in this because the grass ended up being just too difficult to hand shovel. It actually took me a while to get this whole row done, but I am going to use a net over these cabbages. Now, if you ever grown cabbage before, you probably have cabbage moth around. Cabbage moth can destroy your crop and make your cabbages inedible, honestly. But a net, just a simple garden netting, is the best prevention to cabbage moth damage. Okay, what you're seeing me here do is I got all the grass out and loosened up the dirt the best I could. Then I'm pushing the plastic little flaps down into it and then putting the dirt right over it, because I'm hoping that the plastic will kind of stay in place and kind of almost segregate the grass away from the cabbage roots and kill off the grass while leaving the cabbage to grow. Now, side note, I told you earlier that a lot of my cabbage seedlings ended up dying, and this one I just pulled out is dead too, or at least it was hanging on by its last thread, literally, because it ended up having, it's called dampening off. It's where your seedling stem rot right at the base. Honestly, it happens. It's from a fungus that actually causes this, and it happens when your seedlings sit in the seedling pots too long. And you know, plants are meant to grow outside, not inside. As you can see, I'm pulling it out in defeat, but if your seedlings sit in those little seedling pots too long, like mine, all my seedlings have been sitting in. I started these cabbages, I think in March, late March, so it is beyond time for them to get out into the garden. But like I said, we had to start all over in the garden this year, and honestly, it just took a lot longer. So I have got low expectations from the garden. I have a lot of base work to get done in this garden that I'm more concerned with, like killing off the grass, getting the pathways set up, etc. But I am going to continue with my efforts with these seedlings. So here is an up close of what I've been doing, just pushing down the fabric flaps, putting my compost dirt that is dry as a bone. I am going to water these afterwards for sure, and then I just plant the plant into that compost dirt little area. Okay, I finally got all but 3 little ones into the ground. It is the end of the day. I need to call it quits for the day. So I'm going to put on my net. It is an 8-foot by 24-foot net. It's very easy to use, although it's a little big for this bed. I ended up just putting it on and just using those little scrap pieces of 2x2s to hold it down, which is perfectly acceptable. The only real rule you use for nets is not to put it on too tight. I am actually going to create a video on how I make supports so it's not just laying straight on top of the plants, but that will be in the next video. I really hope this helps. This is real gardening. Everybody's garden looks different, but we all can reach the same goals, maybe just in a different way. Here's a few little clips of my chickens and my ducks because they're getting so big and we love them so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.